back with another live stream. Please share, subscribe, and hit that like button for me. And let's get with this video. Now, there's a lot of people. Some people may say that Trump will make America great again. But Trump will never make America great again. And I want to say, do they not know that the hour is here? See, you will see every cry is against them. So you got to beware of them. Because the curse of God is on them. So how are they today deluded away from the truth? So Mr. Trump, I want to get to him. You say that America will become great again. But I said, Mr. Trump, America will never become great. Because America has become a habitation of devils, a home for every evil person, a cage for every hateful bird. Now, hateful birds was described as she's being hated by all other foraging birds. She's like a bird that associates with other birds, and she realizes she's hated by all other foraging birds. And see, we're at a time that the nation wants peace. And why are the nation angry? Because there have not been peace. Now, the myth, we got to look at things at the mischief makers. You know, they want all the world to be at peace. You know, peace, peace. They say when there's no peace. When we see hell is erupting. And why are the nation angry? And who are the nation that are angry at the resurrection of the dead? The 18th verse of the 11th chapter of the Revelations. And the Bible plainly teaches us that these nations are angry and mad because of the rise of the dead, and that God himself was the source of the power behind the resurrection or a rise of a mentally dead people. The black man. It is the slave holders who has been the real cause of a mentally deaf of the people. The revelation relates to as being deprived of justice. God comes to give them justice and to justify them as being equal to their slave masters as human beings. As you know, from the 400 years of legal slavery, and free slavery, an American so-called nickel. You see, they have never been recognized as a human being. As one devil says, there are 3/5 of a human being, as he calling you a beast, a mortal, or entity. It is true that the history of our treatments by the devil's slave masters practically made our parents and ourselves less than human beings. This is why I teach that the main right we should seek first are human rights. The American so-called Negro flew in love with his slave masters and slave master children because the unlike attract them and their brother in Africa. See, therefore, the manifestations, an enemy, the devil, and the resurrection makes the dead to see that which caused them to be mentally dead. And the parable of the donkey, who plotted upon meeting with angels, he saw that the burden he had been carrying on his back was false. Balaam. Soul and the resurrection of a mentally dead so-called nickel. They are rising to acknowledge itself. This knowledge make them refuse to continue to carry the slave master as something to worship. This has angered the slave master, as the donkey refused to anger Balaam. Balaam set about whooping and beating the donkey to force him, as unusual, to carry and respect him as his master. This use of force to compel the one slave, the Black Americans, to remain with them even now in order to make them members of society is only false recognition of the Black Americans, this lost and now found people of the Black nation of Asia and Africa. This continuous cruelty by the white slave master inflicted upon the American so-called have angered God, as the cruelty the Egyptians inflicted upon Israel during the time of Pharaoh angered Jehovah. This is a repetition of Israel history and of Pharaoh evil in these modern times. Now, Trump can tell you that he got friends in Pennsylvania due to black votes. That's a damn lie. You gotta understand, these are Pharaoh people. They're like Pharaoh people, evil in these modern times. So you gotta see, when it comes to the appearance of Jehovah and of Moses, we see the service of Jehovah to announce to Pharaoh the end of Israel's slavery. See, Pharaoh became angry and went to work or tried to instruct and bring nothing Jehovah's delivery of Israel through his servant Moses. This brought Pharaoh to his end, and he and his army was cast to that Red Sea because they tried to prevent the freeing of Israel by their God Jehovah. You see, white America will refuse to let you go, but you will have to free from her. In Isaiah the 43rd chapter 6, it says, I will say to the north, bring that back. Bring my son from afar, and my daughters from the end of the earth. You see what's going on with America? They can send their little flunky army, and how they going into Venezuela, robbing, stealing, killing. The nation, you see, are very angry and dissatisfied, because the angry nation refers to white America and Europeans who are also enslavers of the black man. Now, I want y'all to take, for instance, the part that England, Germany, France, and Italy had all played in enslavement of black Africans and black people throughout Africa, Asia, and here in America, North and South America. There is no such thing in nature, white people, as justice and freedom for black people, especially not for blacks in the Western hemisphere. Now, the anger is running them mad, and they're attacking and killing each other. There is no such thing as peace amongst them, nor can they produce peace for others. Now, when the Holy Quran refers to this condition as the kind up of hell, Surah 81, verse 12, never before have you witnessed the evil today that is spreading far and wide. In every hour of the day we see in America, Europe, England, America being not the first, but the chief slave makers of black people. They dislike the idea of having America alive dispose of their powers over a Negro, though they knew this was coming, the loss of their slaves. This is the time of increase of knowledge. See, God has given this black man of America more light into this increase of divine knowledge than any blacks elsewhere, because he chose to make for himself a great nation out of the former slaves of America. Why America is angry? Because God is resurrecting this black slave to a knowledge of himself and his slave masters. This means that they are entering into a war with Almighty God, Allah, to try to oppose the truth of God, preached by the messenger of God. Read the second Psalms. The great commotion we see in the governments and people of America, the civil unrest, insurrection, mental incitement, noisy confusion, there is no action we see that is being taken, nor can there be any action taken that will bring the people into a better condition of civil actions. See, the white American people have practiced evil to the man in the mud, the black slave, for so long that they think that there will never be any divine action taken against them for such evil and its injustice. But this is what is now affecting we see. It is the action we see of divine justice for the poor man, the black slaves. Now, Allah, we see in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, has the power and uses his power on the wicked to bring them to their knees. Allah God is the greatest. There is no equal to him. Allah God can take us by our own way of thinking and spin us as though we are a play toy. We cannot fight a successful fight against him. He is too powerful. He listens in on our thinking. He is capable of making us to think and to do that which he desired to be done. The great commotion we see today is witnessed by the nations of this earth. For it's America whom God is after for a mistreatment of the poor so-called Negro, lost found original black members of their nations. America mistreat and kill her black slave for sports. But America days we see is drawing to a close, and she will not have this freedom to mistreat her black slave much longer, as the mistreatment we see of the Egyptian practice against Israel came to an end. So will the mistreatment of the black slave by white America comes to an end. America has so blind, made deaf, dumb, the black man of America, her black slave, that she'll make these empty promises to the black slave, and he will accept her false promises and forsake the true promise of Allah God and the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, who is here offering us heaven at once. The great commotion will continue in America until this commotion has destroyed the power of oppositions. The title we see of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, Surah 101, verse 1 through 4. The disaster will make you know how terrible this disaster will be, and what will make you know how terrible is the disaster. In the English language, according to the Western Dictionary, the word disaster means we see a state, a deep distress, misery caused by a major misfortune, loss or a great event marked by a great loss, lasting distress, and affliction. Such disaster we see is now prevailing over America. We see it's getting worse daily. Now, the third verse we see of the Holy Quran, Surah 101, verse 3, asks a question and will make you know how terrible things will be. The answer is given in the fourth verse. The day wherein man will be as scattered as moths. We do not have to ask anyone whether or not, my brothers and sisters, this one of the Holy Quran is now being fulfilled. We see the fulfillment of this prophecy with our eyes and hear with our ears. These great disasters that are now striking America. We see the great division, the great disagreement, disunity, murder of mans. We see the great amount of raping, murder of girls and women. There is great robbery and thieves going on every hour of the day and night. There are great storms we see and adverse weather conditions. There are minors we see and earth tremors and hailstorms. See, there are signs, and one of the signs being displayed in the heavens and earth. On seas, we see in lands. There's unusual behavior of children. There's unusual love and dislike of children by mothers and fathers, and destruction of this process of childbirth. The great disaster, starvation, great destruction of health and life by the use and administering of poison drugs, which is practiced upon those who are free and those who are bound. What had been known as America is threatened today with total destruction. America destroying herself in an effort to destroy her black slave. The water and air of America are being polluted by chemical use. Now, when it comes to American scientists, how they can conduct dreadful experiments on how best to kill human beings. So they, come with a solution. Scientists will come with a dreadful experiments on how best to kill human beings by the million. When Aaron Rodgers came out to expose Anthony Fauci, they will use this vaccine experiment on how best to kill human beings by the million and wipe out lives, you see, of continents. So you see, not just inside the U.S., you see people are struggling with this COVID-19, but it was spreading like cancer throughout the U.S. Just think about, you had over 400,000 patients hospitalized. They're telling and urging, you have politicians, the wickedest politicians, Republicans, Democrats, urging people, get vaccinated, do what's best. How are you going to try something that you don't know what's in it? They're killing millions by the millions, you see. See, these are the days, I want to say, the fulfillment of prophecy of not one, but of many disasters. But all of these preparation of this destruction of human life by the devil, Allah God too has planned to save his people. Allah God has claimed over this black slave as being his people. A white slave is angry because of the loss of the black slave by the virtue of this claim. Allah God come to take the black slave away from the enemy white slaveholders and join the black slave to his own kind again. The enemy white slaveholders is angry because they see a time has approached. And the enemy white slaveholders hates this. But Allah God has the power to force the enemy, the white slaveholders, to submit to his will. It is the will of God that enemy white slaveholders let our black slave go free. See, Allah God is concerned the white slaveholders and the black slaves. In the book of Isaiah 43 verse 6, I would say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. See, bring my people, my daughters, from afar, and my sons from the end of the earth, America. Now, since God has now claimed the black slave, giving them this truth, Allah God has called this black slave who accept this truth by his name. See, the black slave who accept the truth of his greatness and being one of the righteous nations of his own kind belongs to Allah God. Now the books must be fulfilled, wherein it prophesies that he will claim them to be his own elect. At such time as the destruction of America, Allah God has chosen some of these people of America, the black slave, to be his people. There will not have been any flesh saved from America, as you can see. Now, the Bible tells us in a time that we are witnessing, that we see such time, that the end must come. Now, the Bible tells us and teach us that except that the Lord has not cut short the days, no human being would even survive. But now we see, for the sake of elect whom he has chosen, he has shortened the times. Now, the black slave must know that this is a time of judgment of both the white slaveholders and the black slaves. Now, the black slave must know where his home is. His home is with his black people and his God. And his own people now. The black slave had been robbed of his knowledge of his God and his own black people. It is these slaveholders who God is angry at. So Allah God has come and brought this black slave the truth. If the black slave refused to accept the truth, he would be destroyed for willing and knowingly after rejecting the truth. When the truth have come and its menace. Disaster we see in this country of America. No secret, my brothers and sisters, can be hidden. For the chastisement of Allah God will not let you hide it. As one writer prophesies in his Bible, Isaiah 18 verse 1, whom to the land you see, shadow it rings. This prophesy we see is referring to America. which have a cloud of planes we see shouting the skies over America almost daily, nightly. Now, can America exist? All is evil that she has committed. Now, the coming we see of this white man into the Western Hemisphere was for the purpose of expansion away from his brethren in Europe. See, we see Europe was divinely given to a white race as a home while they was driven out of Arab 6,000 years ago. Now, to abide there on that continent until the days have come. See, Europe was a place where the white race had a home. But now they was driven out of it after 6,000 years we see that they were driven out. Now, the days of reckoning have come to them. And these are the days of reckoning for the white race, as you see the religious scholars and scientists can agree. But because of their nature, evil, they cannot help doing evil things against the righteous. See, they make war today against the righteous, the black man, to prevent him from getting any aid or help. Now, the story of the poor man Lazarus, no one came to the poor man. No one aided this poor man. So the rich man was bound to get a taste was like to be in hell, to even trade places with Lazarus, because heaven is a place, y'all. But I say this to say this, hell is a appointed place that they trying to get you go. And how willing he's trying to take you into his fall. But see, they can hate me, but the hatred today doesn't amount to anything as long as God is not hating me. See, they will hate you with a bloody hatred, and they will try to kill you for teaching this truth. See, they do not want this black man of America to enjoy his freedom, justice, and equality. So look what they did, my brothers and sisters, to Reverend Martin King. You know, a man was trying to be their brothers. You know, a man was publicly taught that he did not want to draw this white man's blood. But he said if there was any blood to be spilled, let it be the black man's blood. You see, his words came true. Poor man. See, he was without the knowledge of himself, his God, and his religion. So fear of his 400-year-old enemy, that he would never get starvation from his people, from their enemies. So this is why it's so important that the black man seek himself and not seek after the enemy who had brought you here to make you not love, find you to hate your own people. So America, when it comes to her being blessed, she has been blessed all across the Atlantic and out of the confines of Europe until this day. She has owned the black man. And now when man have luxurious things that he once have, and that's freedom. When the country, you see, can never be said to be the white man's own. But see, after he conquered from the native Indians, see, now he sees that the land is his. Now I want to say, America, even though she had been blessed since her fathers came across this Atlantic and out of the confines of Europe unto this day, now for her evil done to her slave, God is threatening her today with total destruction. Now, when it comes to America and Germany, I want y'all to understand they are the most evil of the right race. Now, for evil done to her slaves, God is threatening her with a total destruction. See, when it comes to Germany, these two governments have been blessed, but they have not shown any worthwhile respect for Allah for his blessing.